Madden list here of the wide receivers at launch. This is how it looks. All right, we got Michael Thomas here at a 99. I love 99s, don't I, Joe?
You do. You're a
DeAndre
huge
Hopkins here at a 98. Julio Jones, a 97. Tyreek Hill, 96. Devontae Adams, 94. Amari Cooper, 93. And Mike Evans, 92. Stephon Diggs, 92. Keenan Allen, a 91. And Odell Beckham Jr., an 89. Woo! Kicking it back here at 89 here, but still top 10. But some of those ratings are a little suspect here,
Yeah,
Joe.
I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that, and I'm seeing Amari Cooper even up there, and I'm just thinking.
How is Amari Cooper way up there?
I don't know.
And we've seen him. He doesn't have the surest hand. So 93, I mean, I think that's a little too, a little too much.
Yeah, and if you look at even some of these, like Keenan Allen, we've been waiting for this guy to kind of show up for this team and play. He finally does, and they rank him in the top 10 here, the 91 instantly. I mean, hopefully he can do better or do well this season again now.
Yeah.
Without Phillip Rivers here, now he's got Tyrod Taylor, or is it going to be Justin Herbert?
Yep.
Don't know. But
yeah,
I mean, that's what's funny about these Madden lists here too. A lot of them, they go off of what last year they did to keep them relevant. So then it's kind of rolling with the times, kind of in a sense. You don't say, Lamar Jackson played well. He's got to be up there in the game. He's got to be an all-star. But we have cracked the code that said, listen, how are you a 99 when you look at all your attributes that you're giving us, the data, and it doesn't equal 99? So where the frig are you coming up with this number here? It just boggles my mind. So I decided to go through and do the re-ratings here. We've done quarterbacks, running backs, and now I'm at wide receiver here, Joe. So let's go to our first guy here, and that is
what do we got?
Michael Thomas here. So after doing the rating, he was rated a 99. I go through all of his attributes, the catching, the deep, the ball, the release, everything, even ball carrier vision, breaking tackle, stiff arm, and he is a 92 going forward. So he drops from a 99 right down to a 92, given the stats that they have given us.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand we are going off of Madden ratings, but we're not going off of every single category like Madden does, and that's how they figure out their overall rating.
If they went off of every single but even if they went off of every single category, it would be a lot less than a 99 even. You know what I'm saying? It would be terrible. It makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. They're whatever they average out, there's no way he's a 99.
Yeah, we're just taking the categories that are relevant to each position. So Michael Thomas ends up as a 92, which is a little surprising to me. I understand maybe not the 99 rating because no player is perfect or close to perfect. But Michael Thomas, I felt like should be maybe a 95. Like he should definitely be in the mid 90s or maybe even like 96 or something like that. But yeah, wow, that's a pretty big drop off for Thomas.
Absolutely. So let's move on to DeAndre Hopkins here. DeAndre Hopkins. Again, which I think should be a 99 here, up there with Michael Thomas. I don't know why, he's just a 98, take down from there, but who knows, whatever. But we did the average out here again, and he comes out to a 92 as well.
Okay.
And if you see him, later on when we look at some of these rankings, when I put them all together and stuff, if you see where they're aligned, it's just because in average they don't exactly add up to like a 92. It's a 91.9, 91.5, and that's where I align my placements too. So if people want to argue too on where they are, let them argue. Let them argue. The math shows right there. That's why they're back there. Okay, so you've got Michael Thomas here at a 92, DeAndre Hopkins here, the third ranked wide receiver that they've had here, Julio Jones. Now, he is going to average out to a 92 as well. So now we have a three-way tie here at 92, Joe. We're in the mix. 92s all around for the top guys who was, a 99, a 98, and then a 97. So now it mixes it up here with some 92s. All right, now moving forward. So, what do you think of that? Julio Jones now, if you look at these guys all together and you put them all in this group that we're doing, and instead of ranking them 99, 98, 97, if you said they're all 92s, do you even have a problem with that? Maybe the number 92 is bad.
I just feel
they're
like
in the same boat together.
In the same boat.
Tier.
You could make arguments between each player. They're a little bit different from each other. So you could make an argument like Michael Thomas. Maybe he should be a point or two better than Hopkins, or Hopkins should be a point or two better than Thomas. There's going to be those debates depending on what receiver you kind of like better. I mean, you're always gonna have those. But do I feel like they're all three of those guys are in around the same rating? Sure. I mean, all three of them are great receivers. They're all elite receivers. So they could be a point or two within each other, I would say, but definitely I don't think you could say they're all 92s. That's how it worked out with the Madden ratings that we redone. But there should be some kind of difference based on what they produced and what they've done the past season.
I hear you there. Moving on, we have Tyreek Hill, who was placed in number 4. He is ranked now in 89 after you go through all of his stats that he has.
Wow.
That's so he crazy. Goes from a 96 right down to an 89. No love for some Tyreek Hill. They gave him the highest speed and everything, but his catching ability and what I thought was interesting, I think, was his short route running they really hindered him on. It's like they went that he was a speed guy, so his deep route running is tremendous and his speed is tremendous. But his medium to short routes, they really knocked him down a tick there too. With breaking tackles, I think because of his stature, he's a thinner kind of guy, not a lot of muscle on him, or he's muscular, not a lot of like strength behind him or something like physicality to him. They say he's less physical, so then that hindered his like breaking, tackling ability and things like that. So that's what you're going to see with some of these guys. Oh yeah, I know. See, when you average them all up, it ends up being interesting where they rate them. All right, so moving on to the top 5 here, the end of the top 5. Devontae Adams is an 89 as well. And with these wide receivers, you're going to see a lot of the same numbers here as you're going, and it is just by decimal points that they are different. So if you're looking where they're going to be ranked in a little bit, just to keep in mind they're off by decimals and by the tenths of a point, so that's where they end up aligning after all that. Now, Amari Cooper, to where I thought was strange, as he was in the top 10 with a ranking of a 93, he is going to also take a step back. And what does he come out to? An 88.
Wow.
Amari Cooper goes down from a 93 to an 88.
Okay.
Which I can even see him there again, too, where he was kind of looking to be that guy in now Las Vegas, but Oakland. Had some ups and downs here and there, and then goes to Dallas, looking to be their savior. Yes, they end up winning after he kind of goes there too, and was their bigger playmaker. But again, seeing a little bit case of the dropsies that he's had.
He's doing much of the same thing he was doing in Oakland.
And to where his catch rating is a 90 for some reason. I don't get again, because he does get a case of the dropsies, where Odell Beckham Jr.'s is like an 85. So I don't get that, but he's got a 99 spectacular catch. So you have an 85 catch, but then an 80 or 99 spectacular catch.
How does that work?
I don't know.
What's going on there?
Odell can drop some easy ones.
There's a little bit of conspiracy there, because, come on, let's be honest.
Cooper isn't. There's a lot of Cowboy fans, maybe, I think, that to make these lists.
Cooper isn't the most sure-handed receiver there is. We know Thomas is deserving of a very high catch rating. So isn't Hopkins. So isn't Jones. Those guys are definitely seen as elite pass catchers, and Odell Beckham is too. I don't know how he got a 99 spectacular catch rating, but his catch rating is an 85. Is that what it is?
I think so. I guess go back through and check it again.
That doesn't make any sense.
I have all the numbers right here.
How can you have a 99 spectacular catch rating? But hey, by the way, your normal catch rating is an 85. It's not that good.
Second one over here is Odell Beckham Jr., 99. His catch rating is an 87.
Oh, it's an 87. It's a little better, but it should be higher. It should be pushed up higher.
Yeah, still,
the guy's got phenomenal hands. Come on.
All right, come on, man. Yeah, give me a break. All right, so that moves us on to Mike Evans here now. He's in the mix.
Wow.
And he also has an 88 here, too, if you do all the math here. Mike Evans, 88, so he drops.
Mike Evans should be higher than that, too.
Yeah. I think he was a little disrespectful in this
Devontae
list,
Adams
too,
should
altogether.
be higher. Like, everybody should be higher in my mind so far, except for Cooper, except for Well, even Tyreek, man. Tyreek is a baller. I just can't see him at 89. He should be in the 90s. Everybody that we have mentioned besides Cooper, I believe, should be somewhere in the 90s.
Right, and that's what's wild with our list that we do here.
Wow.
Again, it's not us grading these guys because we would probably even grade them different. It's the average of the stats that they've given them that we average out to give them the number that they truly have really rated this person, which could be great for you when you make your Madden team on how they're going to perform. You get a 99 and all of a sudden he's dropping or doing this. It's because of the actual stat that they gave him.
Right.
So that's what you're getting out of it.
So this is a list. Just telling all you Maddenites out there. This is the list to follow for drafting.
That's right. And now Stephon Diggs there, I just brought up, is an 88 as well. So moving Stephon Diggs up in this list, along with Mike Evans and Amari Cooper, they're all ranked now closer to the same amount of numbers here.
All right, Stephon Diggs, I'm okay with closer to 90. That's okay.
And it's funny too because you saw Stephon Diggs with Adam Thielen on the other side. You would probably say if you looked at the Minnesota Vikings roster, you'd be like, Adam Thielen's your number one, Stephon Diggs your number two, right? Maybe, right? Probably. I mean, that's what I would say. Maybe Stephon Diggs your number one.
Diggs was your number one.
So they traded him right away, you know, and now you got your Adam Thielen. So, I mean, it's kind of weird that you don't see Adam Thielen maybe around here in this top mix here, too. He just barely missed the top 10. He's ranked 11th.
He was very productive.
He's right there, too, right behind him. But it's just funny that you don't see him in that mix. And that would be interesting, too, if you saw two players from the same team in the top 10, which we saw that last week when we did our running backs. We saw Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt catapult into the top 10 after we did our ratings.
Oh, yeah. That was surprising. Come on.
That
no
definitely.
love for Josh Jacobs in that. Are you kidding me?
No, and Josh Jacobs jumped
Are
right.
you kidding me?
He dropped out of the top 10. All right, so moving forward here, we're getting to our 9th ranked wide receiver, and Keenan Allen now goes up to he drops a little bit, but he's now at an 89. So he drops from a 91 to an 89.
Wow, dude.
Only two spots
I
here,
was
but
okay with the 91 for Allen. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy can do it all. He is amazing when he's healthy. The last 2 years, he's proven so. So cut the guy some slack. I mean, he definitely deserves to be around the 91, maybe 92 range. Definitely deserves it to be in the 90s, though. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. So he's there sitting at an 89. So, I mean, that may be, again, closer to where maybe it's realistic numbers for me, what I would think even, too, after you see him, the way he's performing. Again, as even just a starter ranking. Because, again, these are launch ratings. And then as they play, they adjust them. They
adjust them
a little
bit.
We'll see how it goes with him.
But even then, they still screw it up.
Oh yeah, they still do. Definitely, absolutely. All right, so now
what we got for Odell?
For Odell Beckham Jr. in the top 10 here. He is
also
an 89. Also an 89.
Oh, come on.
So there you go. He's. I think he stayed the same pretty much. I think wasn't he an 89 before? I can't remember what his first ranking was. Let me look back here. Let's look at his other one. He was an 89, so he stays the same.
He just stayed the same.
These are the original rankings. And this is where we're at now. So if you look at all that, he's an 89.
Okay.
That's your new numbers there. All right. So moving forward now, this will bring you your new top 10 wide receivers. I wrote running back still, so I got to change that. But there you go. Here's our meant wide receivers. But there you go. DeAndre Hopkins moves into the top spot with the 92. Then Michael Thomas. Then Julio Jones at 3rd. Keenan Allen jumps into the top 5 at number 4. Odell Beckham Jr. is still back there a bit. And Tyreek Hill now rounds up the top 5. So right there at 89s. Look at all the 89s right here.
I can't believe Adams is still like. I can't believe that. Like he should be higher. Odell maybe a little bit higher. Not crazy, because if you're looking at what he did last season, it wasn't elite, esque or whatever like that. So, yeah, okay, maybe you bring him down a little bit, but wow, I can't believe. Because here's the other thing too, and we've talked about this off the air, is why is it just production driven? You know what I mean? It seems like a lot of their rankings is more about their production from the previous year, isn't it? Shouldn't it be like production? The majority of it should be production, but also you got to also look at the player themselves. Like how much talent does the guy have? Like, is he a great, catcher? Not just about the production he had last season, which kind of dictates that overall rating. You know what I mean? Let's face it. If their overall rankings are kind of biased a little bit. You look at the rankings with Christian McCaffrey and how they have him as a 99 rated running back. But part of that is because he had a phenomenal year last year. But another part of it is like everybody sees him as an elite running back.
Yeah.
But they still made him a 99. When actuality, if you took the categories that matter the most to a running back, he drops down from that ranking to a 90. What was it? A 93 or something?
I think it was something like 93.
Something in that neighborhood.
So. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, where are you guys coming up with the overall ranking? Just because they had a phenomenal year, or you like them, or like, where are all these numbers coming from? Because a lot of people year in and year out always have that same question. Like, how do you guys go about figuring out these so-called ratings? Mm-hmm. They're all number-based, so it's really opinionated. It's heavily opinionated based on each category. And then the overall ranking doesn't even match up to what you rated them through all the different categories. So, still confused, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. If you look at some of the stats as you go through, too, and some of the ones that matter, even stiff arm release, breaking tackle, jumping, carrying, catching, awareness for some of these guys have 99s and then an 86. OBJ has an 86 awareness. Michael Thomas has a 99. What does that even mean? I don't even understand that. One's just less aware of what's going on. Like what is awareness? I don't understand that for a wide receiver. I don't. But one has a 99 and one has an 85. I just don't get some of these numbers. And again, they do not average to a 99 and an overall player. If you're gonna have an overall player, most of these stats have to be 99, somewhere near a 99 or whatever. You can't give me a 99 player and not have the stats equal it. It makes no sense to me.
It's a little absurd.
I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. But here we go. Let's look again. I fixed it here. The Madden 21 new top 10 wide receivers. Here, we talked about the top 5 here. Tyreek Hill with an 89. Devontae Adams staying there right there with an 89, but drops out of the top 5. And Odell Beckham Jr. leapfrogs up here from the 10th spot into the 7th spot. Amari Cooper now taking his step backwards into the 8th spot. Mike Evans there floating around, and Stephon Diggs now cracks out the top 10. Nobody jumped into the top 10 in this one like our previous list that we've done. Just a little shuffling at the top spot and a little bit in the middle here. But just a 3 bunches of rankings here, 92s, 89, and 88s, to where that leads just debate, I guess, about who's even better or who's, in there. All the rankings, again, lower of what you think of the player.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. It's the numbers are there, and that's what they give us.
Numbers are there, and that's what they give us. But, I would give a little bit more to Thomas, a little bit more to all these guys that are in the,
like you said, maybe Christian McCaffrey went from a 99 to like a 93.
Yeah. It's like, I get it.
More than that. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. That's what we came up with based on their numbers. Mm-hmm. But in the end, like, you gotta, like, some of these players that are elite deserve to maybe be a couple ticks higher in every single category or something like that. Like, Michael Thomas is an absolute beast. Mm-hmm. Julio Jones is a beast. I mean, yeah, he's getting older, but he's still playing like he's just a freak of nature. Mm-hmm. He's still playing at a high level. And you got guys like Odell Beckham Jr., like, who I thought was a pretty low rating for him. Like, I understand he didn't have as a productive season as some of those elite guys, but you also got to consider the talent that each player has. It just has to be part of it. Mm-hmm. And I know it's hard to put a number on that or something like that, but just to add, like, maybe a couple points here and there based on, like, catching. Really? An 87? Like, I've seen this guy he doesn't drop anything. If it's there, he's catching it. So, stuff like that kind of confuses people, from time to time.
Yeah, and when I do these lists, too, I also go through and look at the next coming guys that are right out of the list to see if they might leapfrog in. Right there coming in at 11th is Adam Thielen, like I talked about.
Okay.
And then after him, it's Allen Robinson, who is ranked, or Thielen was a 90. Robinson, they rated an 89. And then Cooper Kupp an 88. Chris Godwin was a 91. And then Tyler Lockett a 93, I think it was here. And and then T.Y. Hilton was there too. So, I mean, right there, those guys are all in the mix here. And so that I put them all in and see who might jump up there, because they were really showing some love to Tyler Lockett here. He was getting 90s across the board, but then when it came to strength or whatever, they gave him like a 38. Which was just a kick in the balls for him on his old rating and stuff like that, absolutely, to bring him down.
Yeah.
And even T.Y. I thought might be able to jump in here. But Allen Robinson I thought was interesting, and how much love they're really giving this guy, who's been a pretty good wide receiver, I think, across the league. But I don't, see him being, top 12 like wide receiver maybe in the league. I mean, he could be, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe that's just my overall opinion of the guy. I don't get to really see play that much.
So real quick, I just pulled up Adam Thielen's stats, because you mentioned that he just missed out on the top 10.
Yeah.
And here's something interesting: is he just missed out on the top 10, but I don't know why he's even close to the top 10. Because he had 410 yards last year because of injury. If you remember, he got injured in that year, in this past season. And it didn't really play much. So he ended up with 410 or so, 418 yards receiving. That's it. Like, backup receivers get around that, or third string receivers get around that from time to time. So how is he even being rated so highly? This is where you start to notice, the little mishaps that Madden does. It's like, how do you have a guy rated that high when last season he really didn't do much because he was injured?
Wasn't there.
So
I think we saw that with some of the players in the previous.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So like, just for giggles, I brought it up. But if you go 2 years ago, 1,300 receiving yards. You know what I mean? And he had 9 touchdowns. So that was where his big productive level was, because he was healthy. But last season, Madden, how do you have a guy like that even sniffing the top 10?
Absolutely. So once again, here's our final re-rating of the wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins, number 1. Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, Keenan Allen here at number 4. Tyreek Hill, number 5. Devontae Adams, 6. Odell Beckham Jr., Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, and then rounding out the top 10 is Stephon Diggs.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday night for more football on the know with Jim and Joe.